Hi Taurus. Welcome to your astrology and tarot reading for the month of April. Happy birthday to all the April-torians. The beginning of April for every Taurus is, of course, Aries season is the harbinger of spring. And as Aries is your 12th house, this is a lot to do with a spring clean, a dive into your subconscious psychological itches that play out in your everyday life. There has been a lot of turbulence since Uranus moved into your sign in early 2019, and you're finding your sea legs. You're getting used to this energy with Uranus being here. It's giving you some positive changes, that's for sure. It's making a few things evident with what's really going on with you. And on the 26th of the month, the Sun and Uranus go conjunct in your sign. And you'll begin to see where maybe Taurus, a lot of your behavior is not for you. It's for somebody else. It's for King of Pentacles. It's how you feel other people think you should behave. Maybe it's for another earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn, could be. But from the 22nd of April onwards, Taurus, this month really wants you to be your own person. And up until then, we can see where certain behaviors and certain yearnings come from. And much like when they pull the mask off the villain in Scooby-Doo, it's not always what we suspect is underneath the mask. It's a demasking moment. Eight of Pentacles. For the moment, you're waiting to see how it all plays out. The biggest aspect of April, and one of the biggest aspects of the year, because it will occur April 4th, June 30th, November 12th, is Jupiter conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, in a side of the sky for you that is incredibly philosophical and incredibly adventurous. It rules university, it rules higher education, it rules philosophy. Six of Cups. And for a lot of you, for most Taurus, your philosophies begin at home, possibly with a key parent, a key father figure that has installed some kind of value in you, some kind of perception in you, but has also possibly passed down a bit of troubling beliefs, a bit of separation beliefs, a bit of emotional avoidance to something in particular. A personal belief, making you feel that you are possibly less than in some regards. Queen of Cups. And you start to understand in Aries season where a lot of your emotions are coming out the way they are, especially regarding your home, regarding your family. Queen of Pentacles. Because they've just simply been brewing for quite a while. Venus, your ruler, has moved into Gemini, your second house. The house that is Taurus associated. It rules your money. It rules your self-worth. It rules your investments. Ace of Wands. When Mercury moves into Aries, you become incredibly in tune with all sorts of things. You're like an antenna. You're quite psychic. You're quite in the know. You can read people's minds, particularly the other earth signs, the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns, and particularly the water signs, the Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces people. They are people that you are connecting with very deeply in the first couple months of April. They want to tell you things. They want to confide in you, and there is some sort of soul connection brewing with the water signs in your life, because the 12th house is all about soulmates. The full moon in Libra, in your sector of habits, wants you, Taurus, to get rid of a few unhealthy behaviors that are holding you back, because around that time, Mars in Aquarius, in your sector of reputation, meaning you could really feel the pressure in terms of your status. Hermit energy, is squaring off Uranus in your sign. You may be quite unpredictable around this time, and you could have the drive to suddenly cut somebody out, drive to suddenly quit smoking, quit drinking, whatever it is. I think you want to change your habits, but be careful you do not blow up in a work situation, because it could really show too much of you in terms of psychological stuff that's not even yours. The time in quarantine, this time in social isolation, Taurus, is making you very aware of your spending habits, how much you spend, how much you save, and I think it's going to transform that very spot for you. Venus in Gemini is giving you great focus on your money, and it will retrograde during your season, meaning that you will have to save some for a rainy day. I suggest you do so. If you're one of those people that is online shopping right now, I wouldn't recommend it. Save a little bit for a rainy day, because you have the ability, with Venus being in this side of the sky, for you to make money, but you also have the ability to make some very careless decisions. 7 of Swords, 9 of Wands, and the 5 of Pentacles. And any careless decisions you make on money, spending from a place of insecurity, spending from a place of habit or psychological itches, you're going to end up putting yourself in a bit of a dangerous spot. And you have some extra cards here. So, in terms of romance, there is communication brewing. There is the potential that a childhood sweetheart for some of you comes out of the woodwork. There is a chance that there is a surprise declaration of feelings that you really didn't see coming. And there is a chance, Taurus, that you feel more connected to somebody and someone surprises you with their level of commitment or their level of interest, and I think you find it quite satisfactory. Now, that being said, for those of you that are entirely single, there is probably a crush going on, and it is a great time to assess their level of interest, because those that are meant for keeps will make themselves known, and those that are not will very hastily disappear. Okay. Venus in Gemini sextile Chiron. Let's talk about that, because that's very healing for you. Chiron is, of course, in Aries in your 12th house, that subconscious psychological itch that we were talking about. And Venus being your ruler sextiling means that on the 10th of April, give or take a day or two, you could probably have some kind of breakthrough in terms of your value. And for a lot of you, for a select few, it could be gender issues, but I think for some of you, it is feeling in touch with your femininity or your masculinity and trying to quite possibly balance out the two energies. It's always kind of fascinated me that Taurus women are able to say, they're able to swear and still seem feminine, or they're able to say really vulgar things and still seem feminine. You know, whenever things would be regarded as crass or unladylike by that stereotypical standard, Taurus women just seem to be able to make anything feminine. It's always kind of baffled me. And more often than not, the Taurus women that I know have always had quite a supreme strength that always, I suppose, as an opposite sign, I admire quite a lot. And it comes from feminine strength, which is why Taurus is associated with the Empress. But the nurturing energy of the Empress requires the strength and the stability of the Emperor. So we have you feeling very connected to Aries season. And for some reason, Mars being in Aquarius in your 10th house of prestige is really pushing you. And I think it's because it's pushing you to embody the Emperor energy at the same time, where you feel confident and you feel worthy and you know that you can do it, even if lately you've had a few doubts that maybe you couldn't. You figure out that you can. The strength that you need to embody and the energy that you need to embody in April, Taurus, is repetitive. You need to be in a repetitive self-talk that validates you. Because where you start to feel very wobbly and uncertain and not grounded is where you start to make financial mistakes and even costly mistakes in your relationships because you may come across as quite immature and scare off potential suitors. And if the Aquarian energy starts squaring off you and you feel like a bull with a red rag, again, you could possibly do that. And we don't want to do that. We want to plant some seeds during this time of hermit energy. With the Two of Wands, you had a plan in place that you really wanted to bring forward, and you're exceptionally disappointed, Taurus, with the Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords, that it did not cultivate. The thing about this feeling trapped is that it so badly wants you to look inward on your pain. And for most of you, it's for figuring out what pain is quite simply not yours to carry, where it comes from a generational curse, where it comes from your parents' pain. This season really wants to heal you with temperance. It really wants to blend. Temperance is able to blend even the most at war communities. And perhaps it is that a romantic choice is not what your parents would have liked for you in terms of your social status, but it makes you happy all the same, particularly if it's a Leo. And you're starting to set up appropriate boundaries with people in how you communicate and what it is that you're comfortable discussing and what it is that you're comfortable sharing. I think that you have moved forward from a lot of pain in a very unhappy cycle, and a lot of pain in romance, possibly the pain of separation, possibly the pain of infidelity in the past. But if you were very disappointed by a water sign, just know that it was only because they couldn't get their stuff together. And they still think of you. Quite possibly, so does a fire sign. But you're more focused on finding the Emperor to your Empress or the Empress to your Emperor. Very compatible, very healthy, very mature energies. But you have to be wary, Taurus, that as much as you begrudge the immaturity and the incompetence in others, if you let that Aquarian energy push your buttons too much, you may come across like you're throwing a tantrum. And that's not really who you are. That's something bubbling within you that just wants your attention for a moment, but not in a work environment if you are still working in a working from home dynamic or you are communicating via the internet. If you are dealing with another earth sign, one that you've been involved with for a very, very, very long time, I think there's something that if you're honest, you want from them and you're going to have to speak up and talk about it. Or there's something that they want from you that they're going to have to discuss. If it is a recent earth sign and you feel like they're not coming through, it's because they're not for you. Quite simple. Same if it's a new air sign or a new water sign. If they are playing games and not coming through, it is just simply that they're not meant to follow into your season, which will be glorious. So let's hop on into the extended, Taurus. I will see you there. Bye.